Hey, how's it going guys? ZedEye here. So finally I have finished Horizon Forbidden West, and on top of that I ended up going for all the way to the Platinum Trophy for the game on a PlayStation 5 version, and I had a complete blast. Now of course I'm not gonna be sugarcoating the whole thing because yes, there were some bad things unfortunately, and in fact, kind of questionable decisions to say that why was this not addressed? Anyway, I'll get into that. I wanted to touch on a few good details first regarding Horizon Forbidden West. As an example, it is the absolute massive campaign story. It's like no less than about 20 to 25 hours to complete. Now granted, I have been taking my damn time with this game. I've been doing a lot of side quests because my aim obviously was to get to the Platinum Trophy, and as such I needed to get to level 50 to get that trophy, a part of it, and there was also I would require to do a lot more than initially for a lot of people that are just simply playing for the story. I've been playing it for the platinum obviously, and as such, after experiencing this game and to the beginning, well, from the beginning to the end, that's including by the way Horizon Zero Dawn, I absolutely love this story. Granted, the story kind of takes a little bit of a different route comparing this to the Zero Dawn. More or less of a science fiction a lot of ways, but I'm not gonna mention anything regarding of the story. That's all I'm gonna say about the science fiction part. Do not worry, there's no spoilers within this review. So other than that, I actually think that that's actually a very interesting turn that the story takes, and I want to say that yes, this game can see a third part to it, like say Horizon 3 or whatever it's gonna be called. I absolutely love the side quests, because the story was very good personally to me. I absolutely love the side quests, and there's so many variety of them as well. I love the way that there's also a bit of a remixed sort of battle requirements, and as such like spatial puzzles that you could do. There's a bit of more character developments towards the characters that you meet in the world, and that you befriend them as well. I really like this sort of stuff. And as such, when you include that in the side quests, the characters, there's also a lot more things that within the world that you can do. And by the way, that doesn't feel like it's repetitive, but there's so many different varieties, at least how Guerrilla Games have done it. It just makes it so appealing, so interesting, constantly by turn to the next turn. And as such, it makes it that it would be around 40 to 50 hours to complete the whole thing. And I appreciate that. Okay, now, since I already given a few good things regarding of the game, I want to mention one of the bad things as well. Okay, I am specifically talking about the climbing. I feel like they need to work more about that. So basically there's parts within the game, actually a lot of parts. There's always those weird kind of glitchy paths that you can take, you constantly bumping into the invisible walls that you cannot get up to. And of course there are some of those exceptions, but still, you can kind of cheat your way through a lot of these mountains and climbing, and including puzzles that you need to, get yourself involved in. I cannot tell you how many times I managed to actually not take the direct route. Instead, I just utilize my equipment and stuff that I've got, and also use, well, to the power of glitch basically. And so yeah, there's still things that need to be done. Mind you, this is still a step up comparing to the Zero Dawn. If you guys do not remember, in Zero Dawn there was always these one path only that Aloy could take. In Forbidden West, there's now a variety of different paths. But yet, I feel like they need to take this step a little closer towards the new versions of Assassin's Creed games in terms of like climbing. But again, that's a bad kind of comparison. Let me clarify that. Assassin's Creed games, like at least nowadays, they have like even a wall that's literally not possible to be climbed, yet you somehow still climb that damn wall. Aloy, obviously, Guerrilla Games, they need to make sure that that actually doesn't happen. And as such, like weird scales and stuff, that cliffs that you can perhaps climb on, and that you can clearly see you can get there, you should be able to do it, right, without any restriction. But unfortunately, Aloy just cannot in this game, and Horizon Forbidden West, I mean. And yet, there's always particular paths that she still will require to take, and that's just what makes it feel more restrictive. Not as restrictive as it was in the Zero Dawn, but Forbidden West still has that, it's a negative personally for me, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you were playing the game, you definitely would have noticed it. I want to mention a few of the good details as well. Let's get back on track. It is basically the design, the beauty, the graphics, like the world. It is simply astonishing, beautiful. Perhaps not perhaps, but definitely so far it's the best looking graphical game on PlayStation 5 released up to date. Of course, we cannot say what happens in the future and future games that will be coming out on PlayStation 5, if everything or if that particular game in the future will surpass in terms of the graphics and quality. But Horizon Forbidden West is perhaps the best looking game so far on the PlayStation 5. Oh, talking about PlayStation 5 and PlayStation in general, yeah, PlayStation 4, it's a bit of a on a downside, unfortunately. If you have been paying attention to the Digital Foundry, they're fantastic. They basically do a lot of these comparisons between the games on different varieties of consoles in terms of frame rate, performance, resolution, and more. And yet they have mentioned and they made a comparison between Horizon Forbidden West on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, and you can definitely see a significant difference in terms of those two platforms. And yeah, definitely it is advisable to be playing this game on a PlayStation 5. And also, by the way, I've been playing this only on a performance mode because that's just the only correct path to take. 30 FPS nowadays, and nowadays gaming, it is simply unacceptable. If there's games that are incapable of running 60 FPS on a PlayStation 5 or the Series X, forget it. The game is a failure no matter how good it is. That's just me, and I'm gonna voice my opinion. I'm sure a lot of you perhaps even agree with my my opinion as well. With my opinion as well. Extra good things regarding of the game as well, it is the voice acting, motion capture, heartfelt script, next generation facial animations, and world-changing plot stakes combined to make the skip dialogue button a top one to tap on. And basically, you kind of want to be immersed in the world, you don't want to actually step away from it, right? You see these cutscenes beautifully done, you just want to engross yourself into it. You feel like you're part of this world, and it's incredible. One kind of maybe a nitpick on my part, but basically I'm noticing there's a conversation between Aloy and different characters, and there's always these weird kind of pauses they tend to have. And this is not like during the transition. I'm talking about during the conversation, right? Basically, the character right there is having a conversation, like emotional driven conversation, something sad that's happened or someone died that he knew or she knew, and yet there's like Aloy kind of looking away. It kind of feels ignorance and maybe a little bit disrespect in a lot of ways. But again, I understand maybe there still were some kind of limitations in terms of the time-wise and deadline, that they couldn't just simply concentrate on every little detail like an emotion capture that Aloy does. But I've noticed that this has happened quite often. There's a conversation, and every time it just happens, so like you literally turn away and you do your own thing for a bit, and it kind of feels kind of disconnected in terms of the conversations between there. Again, this is just a nitpick though. Another good feature I gotta say, the open world fatigue. It just doesn't exist in this game. Because mind you, right, like you actually have mounts, right, within this game. Similar thing that was in Zero Dawn. Extra things you will also have, do not worry, I'm not gonna spoil it. It is simply fantastic, and I just couldn't get like, wow. So yeah, basically my advice, guys, I'm not gonna spoil anything. Finish the story as quickly as possible. Make sure to enjoy it though. Now if you want to go for a platinum, yeah, wait a little bit. So basically finish the story, and you make things much easier for you at the end of the day. When you finish the story, then you want to say do the side quest afterwards and different miscellaneous trophies and stuff like that. Okay, this is a positive and also a negative. I have to talk about this is in terms of its diverse combat. Okay, now the bow and arrow and different varieties of traps and stuff that you can do within this world, it is simply incredible. It is awesome, and there's so many different varieties, and there are very, very unique and many different types of weapons that you can utilize and use. But in terms of the combat, that is still is a bit of a problem. Even though it's been improved again from Zero Dawn, if you guys remember, basically you had to use your spear and, take down your enemies or machines and whatnot, and usually it's kind of underpowered unless if you upgrade your skill tree. And so basically, yeah, this is a problem. So the melee combat is still not good. Since I got a platinum trophy, I had to utilize the melee combat to the fullest. It is not done completely right. There's always these stupid moments within the melee combat that you're required to do. For example, pressing R1, pause for the few seconds, press R2, and then wait for the animation to happen. It's stupid, it's unnecessary, it's over convoluted. Maybe perhaps if you're like interested in learning this, maybe you'll actually get grips on this. But again, if you're playing this game, say on easy or normal, you don't have to worry about this too much. That's a different story if you go at much harder difficulties, of course. Now, I played on this game on normal difficulty, and I have been blasting through it. Obviously, I did die a few times on different occasions, but combat difficulty, I don't pay much attention to it. All I do is simply R1, R2, and basically take care of my enemies, use my bow and arrow, and more to it, of course. And yeah, so basically has been improved from Zero Dawn in terms of melee combat, but yet again, it seriously needs to be looked at a little bit more and a lot more detail. I'm not sure if this is really kind of considered a bad thing, but there were some moments within this game, Forbidden West, that there were callbacks towards Zero Dawn. Occasionally, sometimes what happens, get a backstory. My advice obviously will be play first Zero Dawn, then come back and play Forbidden West to actually get a full experience of this. And I mean, I just think that best approach, it is actually playing from Zero Dawn. And still, I don't know if this is considered to be a bad thing. It is indeed could be considered a bad thing if we're talking about specifically playing Forbidden West, since I'm advising you to play Zero Dawn afterwards, play the Forbidden West. Well, that's all I kind of really wanted to mention. I have been having a blast with this game, and I definitely was very happy with this purchase. And man, hopefully Guerrilla Games are not gonna take another 5 years to develop the next Horizon game, because are we really gonna have to wait till 2025? What is it? No, God, 2027. Oh my God, it's depressing as hell. Come on, Guerrilla, can you make these games just a tiny bit quicker? That'd be nice. Anyway, that's just me. I wanted to have a little bit of discussion regarding it. Now, if you would be asking me and say what score would I give Forbidden West, I'll definitely give it a 9 out of 10 for sure. Now, sure, yes, there are a few issues. That's why I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, unfortunately, it could have been even greater, but with the amount of stuff that this game has and has new things introduced, I'm willing to actually look over those issues and still give it a very, very high score of 9 out of 10. Alright guys, that's all I got for today. Tell me down in the comments as well, have you played Horizon Forbidden West, or are you interested in picking it up or not? Would love to read it down in the comments. Alright, like and subscribe, see you guys all, and have a wonderful day.